right, it looks like we are live. Oh, there's an echo. Wait, let me get rid of the echo. All right, restart that. We're live. This is meteorologist Andrew Pinero with another weather podcast for you. So we had some pretty nice weather today. We have a little bit change. It's going to start to feel a bit more spring-like out there. So what I do want to show you right behind me, this is from the National Weather Service. Pretty much throughout all the tri-state area, all this green, that is a flood watch. So we're seeing this flood watch for most areas, and that very light green, that's a coastal, right there, that's a coastal flood advisory. So it's looking more like the south shore of Nassau and the south shore of western Suffolk County, and then all the areas right around New York City. So there could be a lot of coastal flooding, especially if we're getting 1 to 2 inches of rain. And we do expect that over tomorrow, and then lingering little shower activity into Friday. But the bulk of it is going to be tomorrow, and maybe some thunderstorms as well. So when we take a look at the radar, we see this pretty big system here. Let's move this over a little bit. Let me see. There we go. So you can see the spin from this low pressure system spinning this way. This has the rotation, and down here, this system right along the southeast states, that is where the moisture is. These two systems are going to be combined together, and that's going to be giving us quite a soaker for tomorrow. So what are the forecast models showing? Well, for the GFS here, this is going to be showing, again, pretty clear weather for the rest of today and tonight for the first half of the night, say like before midnight. Then we're going to see after midnight, this is about 8 a.m. We're seeing still pretty much covered everywhere with at least light rain. Some of the darker greens there, that's going into the heavier rain. And we're going to see that pretty much throughout most of the day. Some areas did see that little blip of yellow. Let me go back a little bit there. Stay. There we go. So this right here, this is quite a bit of rain, and it's coming in just slowly into our area, but it's going to be not exactly everywhere. So not everywhere is getting the heavy rain, but everywhere is going to be getting lots of just standard rain. And some areas do have a thunderstorm chance because this system here, this is kind of like a cold front coming through. And this can cause enough instability in the atmosphere that will give us some thunderstorms. So this is the GFS model. The Canadian model here, this one I roll through, is showing pretty much the same thing. So this is 8 a.m. We're going to be in the rain by then. Some areas we're going to start seeing these yellows come up a little bit more. And then throughout the rest of the afternoon, we're also seeing, it looks like most of it's going to be east, so Long Island could get a little bit more rain than some other folks out there. And the low pressure center, there's going to be a lot of rain around there, and that's going to be making its push to the northeast. And this is going to be going throughout most of the area until lingering, what is this? This is about 2 a.m. Friday, so we're still dealing with some lingering showers out here. And also, take a look at these black lines. I've talked about this before. These black lines there, they're isobars. And the closer they get together, the breezier it is. And these lines are getting very close together. So we can see a lot of breezy conditions overall. And then the last one I want to show you for at least tomorrow before we get into the extended forecast. This is the NAM. So this is also showing nice conditions for today. Then, this is right here. This is, again, 8 a.m. We're seeing more sporadic. And again, the NAM is what's called a higher resolution for a forecast model. So it doesn't go out as far, but it does give more detail. That's why there's a little bit more, what looks like, or I should say less pixelation in this forecast model. So we can see a bit more areas of this yellow. So it's a bit more of an accurate kind of looking forecast, although the NAM is not the most accurate by any means. It's just more high resolution. So that's why we see some more of these little blips of yellow versus the other two models. So we're going to be seeing lots of rain throughout the day. And then right here, this is the cold front I was talking about. It's quite a stretch going across here. That could cause a little bit of instability, so we could see some severe weather. Actually, I want to see exactly what the Storm Prediction Center. Let me see if I have it in my bookmarks. Let's see, Storm Prediction Center. There it is, SPC. So for Thursday, so they're showing some thunderstorm chances. Pretty much all of the Northeast is in at least this light green, which is just regular thunderstorm. But this marginal risk, that goes up, it looks like just barely right around the New York City area. And then going into the southern half of New Jersey, a slight risk for severe weather. So again, marginal and slight don't sound like a lot, and I've talked about this a little bit ago, so because we haven't had really thunderstorms in a while. The marginal and slight risk, think of that as, or I should say the slight risk is the top or middle of the top half of the severe thunderstorm chart. You have 6 lines from just thunderstorms to high risk, and slight risk is number 3. You go slight, then enhanced, then moderate, then high. So right around halfway up the severe thunderstorm chart, we're kind of seeing the enhanced there, which is getting near the top half of the thunderstorm chart. So we can see quite a bit of some severe weather further south out of the area, but for us, we're just getting some regular garden variety thunderstorms, except when you get a little bit more south, we could see some severe thunderstorms rolling around. So I'll definitely be keeping you updated tomorrow, as we do have some of this severe threat very possible for more so South New Jersey, but I'll keep you guys updated overall. And where was I here? Oh, so with the GFS, let's go a little bit past tomorrow. Going into Friday. So Friday, we're not really seeing any snow. There is snow out in the Northeast. This is mostly towards the Great Lakes region. It's going to stay to the west, not coming into our area. We're just going to have some lingering showers throughout the day. But if you look at those isobars, they're still pretty tight, so it's going to still be breezy. And that's what the GFS is showing. But then it starts clearing out. So by the time we get to, this is Saturday afternoon, Saturday morning, it looks like it's going to be fairly clear. It's just, again, those isobars are still pretty tight. So we're going to be getting breezy conditions, but it looks mostly dry. That's what the GFS is showing. The Canadian here, so when we get past Thursday into Friday, the Canadian here is not really showing anything for Friday, but I'm going to still leave a lingering shower chance in for your day on Friday. Then when we get into Saturday, it's also showing pretty dry out there. And this is going to be the start of drying after what it looks like on the next couple of models. So we're going to be having cooler conditions for Saturday, maybe around 50, not like today in the 60s. And we're going to be getting a little bit better next week. But for right now, let me show you as far out as the NAM goes. So this is showing this right here about 8 a.m. on Friday. So it's also showing, this is a little bit closer with the snow. I still don't think it's going to be in our area because the NAM tends to be a little bit cooler than what actually happens, or what we call what validates. So the NAM tends to be a little bit cooler, so I don't think this is going to be any kind of snow getting into our area. There will be snow once you get up towards Buffalo and the Great Lakes region, but that's not for us. Then going here, this is Friday evening, so it's also kind of picking up on the warming trend a little bit, so just lingering showers throughout your day on Friday there. Then when we go into Saturday, right here on Saturday, this is right around 11 a.m. on Saturday, I should say. Nice clear skies, but definitely look at these lines there, the black lines, the isobars, still showing some breezy conditions. And this is about as far out as it goes. This is 2 a.m. Sunday, and pretty much all the tri-state is in nice clear skies by Sunday. And these isobars, they're starting to get a little bit more widespread, so it's not going to be as breezy. Then jumping back into the GFS and the Canadian for a little bit, going into Sunday. Oh, jumped a little bit too far there. So this is Sunday afternoon. If you kind of notice this, follow the lines there, this is kind of called a ridge. So the ridges tend to have a bit more warm air because you have from the south warm air coming up. That's what's causing this ridge in the isobars. So we're going to be seeing nice mild conditions for your day on Sunday. And the Canadian was pretty much in agreement going into Sunday. It's also showing the ridge, but it's showing maybe a little bit more of these tight isobars, so maybe still a little bit breezy, but maybe I'm thinking like the 60s for Sunday, so it's going to be definitely a beautiful day. And then still for Monday, Monday's another beautiful day. It's still a little bit breezy, still tight with those isobars, and the GFS was showing right about the same thing. Showing right here, let's go into, this is about 2 p.m. on Sunday, showing those nice clear skies throughout all the area, and look at that little H right there. High pressure. High pressure is going to be pretty much staying just to the southeast into the Atlantic Ocean, and it's going to be giving us clear skies, but these isobars are still kind of tight, so they can be giving us a little bit breezy conditions. The next rain chance looks like it's going to be, this is Tuesday night at about 8 p.m. We're having another, what looks like a cold front come through. So this is going to be your next rain chance. Once we get past tomorrow and Friday, it looks like we're going to be pretty clear from about Saturday till Tuesday night. So we do have a good stretch coming up. And then the Canadian model here, this is showing about the same thing. So Tuesday, it's just a little bit slower. Again, the Canadian model is not the most accurate, but this is, what time was this? This is Tuesday night at about 8 p.m. Nothing yet. We still see it in the picture, and the shape looks fairly similar to the GFS, but it's just a little bit slower. So I'm still thinking Tuesday night we're going to start to see some of these showers. Then going into Wednesday, we're going to see a bit more scattered showers, not really a soaker like we're going to get tomorrow. That's what the Canadian shows, and the GFS is about the same thing. So when we go into here, this is right there. So to Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon, a bit more widespread with the showers, nothing really too steady. The soaker that we have to get beyond, kind of like the hump of the week, not Wednesday, tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be your hump day because it's going to have that heavy rain. Once we get past that, we do have quite a bit of nice weather coming in. And then the one last kind of interesting topic I wanted to touch on real quick. I had this question come up today. These forecast models, all of this data, just where does it come from? Well, it comes from a couple of different things. I'm going to have a video specifically explaining all the steps of how these forecast models work. But basically, I got a message there. All right. So basically, the weather balloons that you typically see, they get launched at certain times. For our sake here in the U.S., let's just call it 8 a.m. and 8 p.m., typically through the daylight savings time period. Once daylight savings time ends, it becomes 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Those goes up into the atmosphere. Throughout the layers of the atmosphere, it tracks the weather conditions. All that data gets sent back to the main forecast centers where they run supercomputers for the GFS and the NAM, the European, the Canadian model, the GEM. All of them are supercomputers. So I wanted to show one, for instance. This is an IBM supercomputer. What supercomputers are basically just series of really fast computers, basically off-the-shelf computer parts, but there's just a lot of them. A single processor may cost us like, what, $300-500. Take that, multiply it by 18,000 of these processors in a single supercomputer area that could be as big as a football field. That's what we're dealing with there. And these supercomputers still take like 4 hours to process all the data from the atmosphere. Once they do process all that data from the atmosphere, that's where we get these outputs. Once it switches there we go. That's where we get these outputs from the supercomputers processing all the data from the weather balloons and outputting it in a nice graphical format that you and I can kind of see. So that's basically how supercomputers work with the forecast models. I'll get a little bit more detail with another video coming up. And then just here's my 7-day forecast. So for today, we're going to be seeing, or I should say tomorrow, we're still going to be seeing a lot of rain again, about 1 to 2 inches of that rain. But then by the time we get to Friday, just some lingering scattered showers, but temperature is going to be going down a little bit for Friday because a cold front passes through. And yes, again, we could see a thunderstorm later in the day on Thursday. Then when we get into Friday, or Friday night, it's going to pretty much be ending. Saturday, I'm going to call it partly sunny for right now. Some are saying mostly sunny, some are saying partly sunny. But it's starting to warm up right around 53. We're still cold in these overnights going into the 30s, especially Saturday night, right around 32 degrees. But then look at Sunday, 61, mostly sunny, and it's going to be a beautiful day again, maybe just a little bit breezy, but it's definitely the pick of your weekend for that day. Then going beyond that, take a look at Monday, 70 degrees. Now that's feeling a bit more like the spring that we are thinking of, and it's going to be feeling nice for your day on Monday, mostly sunny, warm. So Monday is the Yankees home opener, so it's going to be a beautiful day for baseball if you're going out to Yankee Stadium that day. Tuesday is going to be, for the start of the day, pretty nice. Look at that, 71 as well, so it's still going to be a fairly nice day, but then Tuesday night is where we're going to start to see some showers coming in, lingering into Wednesday morning. Maybe a little drop in temperatures to right around 66 degrees for Wednesday, but that's still a temperature I will take. So this concludes this week's episode of the Weekly Weather Podcast. My name is meteorologist Andrew Pinero. If you want to definitely subscribe, I'll keep you guys updated, and I'll have that video up on the supercomputers and the forecast models probably within the next week. So if you want to subscribe, I'll keep you updated with that. And tomorrow for the weather, with the rain and possibly some severe weather, I'll definitely keep you updated on Facebook and Twitter. Have a good evening, everybody, and stay safe tomorrow with all that rain coming.